Good evening. Oh, y'all can do better than that. Good evening. That was a little better. Well, Joy, what are we going to talk about tonight? I don't know. Well, what do you think about the weather we've been having? Well, it's been raining a whole lot. It sure has. It kind of reminds me of 1993. Oh, how does it remind you of 1993? It rained so hard back then that people had to wear boats on their feet. Joy, people do not wear boats on their feet. Yes, they do. Look at Dennis Ramsey. He's still got his on. Now, Joy, be nice. I'll try. Well, what does rain have to do with our Bible story? I was going to tell about Jonah and the flood. Jonah and the... No, Joy, it wasn't Jonah and the flood. It was Noah and the flood. Well, Jonah got in water up over his head. I guess he did. You know, God told Jonah to go preach to the people in Nineveh. He didn't go, did he? No, he didn't go. In fact, he started running away from God. He ran away down to the seaport of Joppa. He got down in a boat, and he went down into the bottom of that boat. Sounds like he was going down all the way. Well, he really did, didn't he? And you know what happened? Yeah, God sent a storm to get his attention. And that boat started shaking this way and that way and this way and that way. Hey, quit it, would you? You're making me seasick. Well, that boat was so upset that the sailors on the ship, they started getting scared. And, you know, they were so frightened that they went down and they woke Jonah up. Yeah, they said, "Wake up, you sleepy head." They woke him up, and you know what they did next? No, what? They cast lots and hit Jonah right on top of the head. Well, Joy, you see, casting lots was like throwing dice, and they used pieces of bone or metal, and if the dice indicated that it was a certain person, that person was the problem. Well, Jonah was definitely the problem, wasn't he? He sure was. Did he steal the beans then? He sure did. He told those sailors that he was the one causing the trouble and that God was going to have to punish him. And he told them that they were going to have to throw him overboard. Uh-oh. And you know what they did? They didn't want to do it, but they went 1, 2, you wouldn't dare. Well, they did dare, and they threw Jonah out into that water, just knowing that he was going to drown and die. But you know what happened? Yeah, God sent a submarine to pick him up. No, there was no submarine to pick him up, but God did prepare a great fish, and that fish swallowed Jonah. Wait just a minute. Wait just a minute. I've heard some big fish tales, like Walter Bush tales, but that's one whale of a tale. Joy, that really did happen. I think Brother Walter uses goat cheese for his date, too. I don't know about that, but anyway, getting back to the story, that fish swallowed Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of that fish for 3 days and 3 nights. Yeah, and he didn't like it, did he? No, I think it didn't sit too well with him. It kind of was smelly down in there. Yeah, he didn't like it. And, you know, the fish didn't like it either. Yeah, to that fish, having Jonah in his stomach was kind of like having company come over to your house. 3 days and 3 nights, and ugh. Well, that fish did spit old Jonah out onto the sandy shore. And you know what happened? No, what? Jonah became obedient, and he went and preached to those people in Nineveh. You know, he didn't like those people, but he preached and did what God told him to do. Well, what happened? Well, the people repented of their sin, and they turned toward God. Uh-oh, that upset Jonah, didn't it? You know, it sure did. He should have been happy when they repented. Well, Jonah was kind of a pouting prophet, and he didn't really like it because those people were his enemies, and he knew what they were going to do to God's people, and he really didn't like it when God spared them. But you know what happened? He was obedient. Yeah, he was. And you know what happened? No, what? Well, I'm not sure. You got lost, didn't you? it happens to the best of us, doesn't it? It sure does. Well, you know, I think it's time for us to go tonight. Okay, if you say so. But let me tell these folks to be careful when you go out, 'cause Moby Dick might be waiting for you in the parking lot. I don't think so. We'll see you tomorrow night, maybe, or Homer might be here tomorrow night. Good night, y'all. Good night.